Security drags, black CEO off plane. Minutes later, she cancels a $2 5B airline deal. Hello everyone, before we begin today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel is losing traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the story. The cabin lights cut cold. Two uniformed officers close in hands gripping the arms of a black woman in a yellow suit vivid against a sea of navy seats. Her name, though no one knows it yet, is Ariana Cole. Her posture doesn't fight. It resists by existing. Ma'am, you need to move. The flight attendant snaps voice tight with authority finger pointing like a gavel. Phones rise. Dozens. Red recording lights blink across the aisle. Every lens hungry for spectacle. Ariana doesn't flinch. Her voice is low, steady. Run my ticket. The attendant laughs brittle. We've seen this before. Fake upgrades. Sit down in economy or what? Ariana asks, tone smooth enough to cut glass. The man in the next row whispers to his wife, always making a scene. She replies, always or finally. The officers pull her halfway into the aisle. Her yellow jacket folds like sunlight being smothered. A hush ripples through the cabin, curiosity outweighing conscience. From the back, a younger flight attendant hesitates, badge still marked trainee. Her boarding pass scanned green, she says softly. The lead attendant snaps, stay out of this, rookie. That moment lands heavier than turbulence. Ariana looks around, faces blurred behind phone screens, silence amplified by fear of being next. Her eyes, dark and calm, meet the camera of one trembling passenger. Voiceover enters low and cinematic. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you believe in dignity and justice, hit like and subscribe. These stories spark change, and we're glad you're here. Now back to Ariana. The captain's voice crackles overhead. Security proceed. Ariana exhales once measured. No pleading, no anger. Only the patience of someone who's been here before. Banks boardrooms, now 3,000 feet in the air. They tighten their grip. She whispers something the camera can't catch. But her expression says everything. This isn't chaos. It's a test. As the cabin door looms closer, light reflects off her yellow sleeve, bright, defiant, unbroken. The voiceover closes. They thought they were removing a problem. They were escorting power itself. The aisle is still humming when Ariana's voice disappears down it. The yellow suit glows faintly under the cabin lights, part sunbeam, part warning flare. Passengers whisper in low, guilty tones. Someone mutters, she looked calm, too calm. The captain's voice cuts through, sterile as policy. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll resume boarding shortly. Thank you for your patience. But no one's patient anymore. Every phone in the cabin holds a frozen frame of injustice. At the gate, Ariana stands beside two guards who won't meet her eyes. One adjusts his badge like it can hide shame. The other looks straight ahead, lips tight. Her breathing stays even unshaken. She checks her watch. 3 minutes late. The deal presentation in New York was supposed to start now. She remembers another time, 24, wearing a thrifted blazer, standing in an airport lounge where a clerk told her, "This area's for real clients." That line aged, but it never died. It just changed uniforms. Ariana opens her phone. Her assistant's name glows, Rachel King. The moment the call connects, Rachel's voice is composed, clipped. "We saw the footage. It's spreading. Do you want me to begin documentation?" Ariana's tone barely moves. "Not yet. Let them finish their script." Behind her, the senior flight attendant talks into a radio voice, trembling now, passenger removed. Issue resolved. Ariana tilts her head, catching that phrase. Resolved. The word drips arrogance, the kind that always forgets who it's talking about. A man in a navy suit, a corporate observer, steps out from the boarding gate. He's seen the clips too. His badge reads Operations Liaison Sky Nova Air. He clears his throat, forced polite. "Ma'am, we can rebook you on the next flight." Ariana turns slowly. "You can't rebook what you don't own." He frowns, confused, but something in her tone freezes him. The guards exchange glances. The silence between them feels like confession. In the cabin behind the closed door, passengers start murmuring louder. One woman says, "That wasn't right." Another adds, "She didn't even raise her voice." The trainee flight attendant sits in the galley, hands shaking, replaying the green scan, still logged in her tablet, proof she was right. Ariana steps closer to the window overlooking the runway. The reflection shows her yellow jacket glowing against the dull silver fuselage outside. Voiceover returns low steady, power doesn't shout. It waits. And every second of silence rewrites the story they thought they controlled. She ends the call with Rachel and says softly to herself, almost like a vow, "They think I'm done flying. They're about to learn who built the sky." Inside the sealed cabin, the air feels heavier, thicker than altitude. Passengers still whisper about the woman in yellow, their words floating like static. Who was she? Why'd they drag her? The trainee flight attendant, Mia, scrolls through her tablet again. Seat 3 amperes still flashes verified. She swallows hard, the light of the screen painting her face pale blue. She was telling the truth, she whispers. No one answers. At the front, head attendant Nicole adjusts her scarf, eyes red but pride intact. "Delete the entry," she orders quietly. "If it's not in the log, it never happened." Her colleague Brian hesitates. "That's falsifying records. That's protecting the airline," she snaps. And just like that, the erasure begins. Cut to outside. Ariana still stands near the boarding tunnel. She's calm, phone in hand, posture composed like someone conducting a silent orchestra. Rachel's voice hums through her earpiece. "Your name's trending already. Someone posted the video tagged yellow suit." Ariana doesn't react. "Keep monitoring. Don't post anything. Let the truth spread itself." A gate agent approaches nervously, clutching a clipboard. "Mez and Mem, we just need to verify your booking again." Ariana smiles thinly. "Check the system again. I'll wait." He types fast. His face drains of color. "It's been deleted. There's no record of your reservation." Ariana tilts her head, eyes narrowing. "Interesting. Records vanish fast when they're guilty." Cut back to the cabin. Mia's still frozen at her seat. The deletion message appears, access denied, entry removed by admin. She gasps. They wiped it. Brian glances over her shoulder. "What are you doing?" She meets his eyes, voice trembling. "Saving the truth." Her thumb hovers, taps record screen. In the terminal, 2 corporate reps arrive in dark suits, Sky Nova Legal Affairs. They whisper to the guards, who straighten instantly. The taller one looks at Ariana with that familiar tone, half condescension, half control. "Ma'am, we apologize for the confusion. A technical error, nothing more." Ariana doesn't blink. "Good. Then you won't mind if I document this technical error." She raises her phone not to record but to dial. Rachel picks up instantly. Phase 2, Ariana answers. Inside the cabin, Mia uploads the saved screenshot to an encrypted cloud drive. The title auto-fills proof of seat 3 amperes verification, 10:24 a.m. Her hand shakes. She looks out the window, seeing the yellow figure still standing on the tarmac like defiance incarnate. Voiceover slides in slow and cold. When systems erase, the innocent evidence becomes rebellion. And sometimes rebellion wears yellow. The camera pans from the window, reflection Ariana's calm face to the monitors inside the airline's control room, blinking red as internal alerts begin to ping. The system just recognized the name it tried to delete. The control room's silence fractures. Red notifications bloom across monitors like open wounds, unauthorized deletion detected, user trace N. Wallace, lead attendant. Every system analyst stares at the name in disbelief. Cut back to the terminal. Ariana stands by the wide glass wall, sunlight streaking across her yellow suit like gold defiance. Rachel's voice crackles through her earpiece, calm but edged. "The board saw the footage. Cole Holdings wants confirmation before we escalate." Ariana replies softly, her tone surgical. "Tell them to wait. I'm giving Sky Nova one last chance to remember who they're dealing with." The 2 Sky Nova legal reps hover nearby, their smiles tight as zippers. One says, "Ma'am, our operations manager is on his way. He'll handle this." "I'm sure he will," Ariana says. "Just not the way you expect." Across the glass, the boarding tunnel still connects to the plane. Inside, Mia, the trainee, watches through the small window. Her tablet suddenly locks the airline logo, pulsing red system reset. Her recording upload halts at 92%. No, she mutters. But before it disappears, a text notification flashes. Received, Rachel K. The file made it through. Back on the ground, a man in a dark tailored suit strides toward Ariana. Graham Yates, operations director, corporate confidence personified. His voice carries arrogance wrapped in diplomacy. "Miss Cole, is it? There's been a misunderstanding. There's been a pattern," Ariana corrects him. He laughs lightly, a rehearsed chuckle. "Surely you don't think this was intentional?" You dragged a black woman off a plane she paid for. Intent is the only thing you had. He shifts uncomfortable for the first time. Let's talk in my office. Ariana shakes her head. No, let's talk where it happened. The nearby passengers, still lingering, still filming, stiffen at her tone. Rachel's voice returns crisp. The internal feed just hit 5 million views. Hashtag number yellow suit is trending top 3. Ariana exhales, eyes still on Graham. Then let's give them something worth watching. The PA system hums to life above them. An overhead voice, flat mechanical, announces, "Attention, scheduled press briefing for Cole Air Holdings will begin in 10 minutes. Graham blinks. Press briefing. Here. Ariana nods once. Here. And Liv. Cut to inside the cockpit, a co-pilot scrolling headlines on his phone. The trending video plays silently the moment Ariana was pulled the yellow flash between blue uniforms. He whispers, "That's her, the new investor." The captain looks over. "Investor, more like owner," the co-pilot mutters. Voiceover lowers, deliberate, steady. Some storms don't need thunder. They start with a whisper from the boardroom and end with silence at 30,000 feet. Outside, Ariana adjusts her cufflink, the gold glint catching sunlight. The camera closes in. Her calm isn't just composure. It's countdown. Mia's heart won't slow down. She's still in the cabin, grounded passengers restless and whispering. The captain hasn't left the cockpit. No one knows if the flight will even continue. Her supervisor, Nicole, stands near the galley phone, whispering orders to corporate. Contain it. Remove every mention of her name from the system. Mia grips her tablet tighter. Her fingers are slick with sweat. At the terminal window, Ariana watches the plane through her reflection. She looks unshaken, almost sculpted from light and willpower. Her phone vibrates again. Rachel's voice, steady as ever. Internal logs confirmed deletion. But we have Mia's backup. It's encrypted under her trainee ID. Good, Ariana says softly. Protect her identity. She'll need it. Back on board, Nicole snaps. Passengers, please remain seated. Someone in row 5 calls out, "We saw what you did." Phones lift again, digital witnesses that can't be silenced. Nicole forces a smile, brittle as glass. "Sir, please respect airline procedures." But the cabin's no longer listening. Mia's tablet pings. An unknown number. The message reads, "You did the right thing. Stay calm." RK. She glances around. No one could have sent it. She whispers, "Rachel." The message deletes itself 5 seconds later. Meanwhile, Ariana turns as the crowd near the gate thickens. Reporters, cameras. Even a few passengers who'd left the flight now linger behind security lines. Graham, the operations director, rubs his temples. This is spiraling. "We'll issue an apology." Ariana's gaze doesn't shift. "Apologies are for mistakes. You made a choice." The automatic doors to the terminal slide open again. 2 more security officers enter, visibly uneasy. One murmurs to Graham, "Corporate legal wants this quiet." Then they shouldn't have raised their voices first. Ariana answers, tone even. Cut back to Mia. She walks toward the exit, trembling tablet tucked under her arm. Nicole blocks her path. "Where do you think you're going off the flight?" Mia replies. "I'm not part of this cover-up." Nicole's face tightens. "That's career suicide." Mia's voice cracks but doesn't break. "Maybe. But at least I'll still have a conscience." She steps off the plane. Behind her, murmurs swell into applause from a handful of passengers. Ariana catches sight of her through the glass corridor. The faintest nod passes between them, 2 women on opposite sides of the same injustice. Voiceover returns slower now, like a heartbeat finding rhythm. Truth always finds a carrier. Sometimes it walks off the plane in a trembling uniform. Sometimes it waits outside wearing yellow. Ariana's phone buzzes one more time. Rachel again. "The board is requesting your statement for the press." Ariana looks up, the terminal lights gleaming in her eyes. "They'll get more than a statement. They'll get a decision." The terminal has changed temperature. Not in degrees, but in tension. The kind that hums beneath polished floors and corporate smiles. Cameras multiply like mirrors. Every reflection of Ariana in her yellow suit becomes a symbol someone's already hashtagging. Number yellow suit now fills every screen. Graham paces beside her, clutching his phone, whispering to whoever still answers his calls. "Yes, I'm with her now. No, she hasn't made any demands yet." Ariana watches him with the stillness of someone who knows the next move isn't his to make. Rachel's voice filters through her earpiece. "The footage is global, Ariana. European outlets picked it up. CNN just called for a statement." Ariana answers calmly, "Send them silence for now." Silence makes noise when it's earned. Across the glass, Mia stands near the security line, unsure if she's brave or just past fear. A man in a navy suit approaches her. Internal affairs. You're Mia Rodriguez? Yes. You accessed restricted data. That's a violation. She lifts her chin, trembling but defiant. So is dragging a woman out of a seat she paid for. He stares, unsure how to respond. The cameras nearby catch every syllable. Back near gate 14, Graham's phone rings again. His face drains. He lowers his voice. It's the board. Ariana glances sideways. Put it on speaker. He hesitates, then obeys. A cold male voice fills the air. Miss Cole, we extend our sincerest apologies. This incident does not reflect Sky Nova's values. Ariana replies steady. Your values are printed on banners. Mine are built in payroll. Silence. Then she continues, I offered to buy your airline because I believed reform could start from within. Today proved it can't. A few reporters gasp quietly. The guards exchange looks. Graham whispers, You're making a mistake. Ariana meets his eyes. I don't make those twice. At that same moment, a TV in the terminal flickers, showing the live trending feed. The video plays again, Ariana being pulled the yellow flash between blue sleeves. The caption reads, CEO or criminal watch before they delete it. The crowd hushes as the clip loops. Ariana turns toward the screen, watching herself in humiliation replayed for the world. Her voice drops nearly a whisper. They broadcast the insult. I'll broadcast the consequence. Rachel's voice breaks in again. Every network is waiting. Shall I set the feed, Ariana, and the microphones blink red? Every news outlet has gone live. The crowd of passengers, reporters, and airline staff stands in a tight semicircle. Security tries to hold them back, but no one moves. In the center, Ariana Cole, framed by the Sky Nova logo, steps up to the small podium, still wearing that immaculate yellow suit. She doesn't need to tap the mic. Her voice carries, calm, precise. I boarded your plane as a customer. You dragged me off as a suspect. But I stand here as your largest investor and your former buyer. A ripple moves through the terminal. Someone gasps. Another whispers. 9 minutes ago, Ariana continues, I informed my board to terminate all pending negotiations with Sky Nova Air. The $2.5 billion acquisition is canceled. The flash of cameras lights her face like lightning. Consider this the last ticket I ever buy from you, and the most expensive one you ever sold. Behind her, Graham Yates freezes, jaw locked. His phone buzzes violently, the boardroom's panic now vibrating through his palm. Ariana turns slightly toward him. You said this was a misunderstanding. You were right. You misunderstood who I am. A reporter shouts from the crowd, Miss Cole, are you taking legal action? Ariana's eyes narrow, her tone sharp but controlled. Justice isn't a press release. It's a protocol, and mine is already running. Cut to Rachel in Cole Holdings HQ, 10 monitors displaying the live stream. She's surrounded by executives watching in silence as Ariana speaks. One whispers, she's dismantling them in real time. Rachel smiles faintly. No. She's educating them. Back in the terminal, Mia steps forward from the crowd, her trainee badge still pinned crookedly. Ariana notices her gestures gently. This young woman stood for the truth when silence was safer. She's the kind of employee I would hire, the kind this industry needs. Applause breaks out, hesitant at first, then growing into thunder. Mia's eyes glisten. Ariana turns back to the cameras. To everyone watching, never confuse calm with weakness, silence with surrender. Some of us learned that dignity speaks louder when the room thinks it won. The overhead speakers crackle. Sky Nova's public statement begins to broadcast, attempting to regain control. We regret the incident involving, but Ariana lifts one hand and the crowd's cheer drowns it out. Rachel's voice comes through Ariana's earpiece once more. Press feed confirmed. 40 million viewers. Board approval for public separation signed. Ariana closes her eyes briefly. Then it's done. She steps away from the podium. The camera follows her back toward the window where the Sky Nova jet sits idle, a monument to arrogance shining beneath the noon Sunday. Voiceover fades in slow, deliberate. They pulled her from a seat she paid for. She pulled $2.5 billion from their future. And somewhere between those losses, the world recalculated worth. Swerves soft but final. Set it. Make sure Sky Nova's logo stays visible behind me. She walks toward the podium, the airport staff hurriedly set up for a press apology, her footsteps clicking against marble like a countdown. The yellow of her suit glows brighter under the media lights. Voiceover deepens cinematic resonant. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive from the sky. It boards the plane quietly and waits for the right altitude to speak. Cameras tilt up, microphones rise. Ariana Cole takes the stand and the world stops to listen. The crowd hasn't moved. Phones still hover in the air, recording history as it folds back on itself. Ariana steps away from the podium, her heels striking the marble like punctuation marks. Behind her, Sky Nova executives scramble, heads bent over their screens as if they could undo what's already viral. The airline's logo flickers across the terminal monitor, then glitches. System reset initiated. Rachel's voice cuts through Ariana's earpiece, low and composed. Internal command received. Sky Nova's servers are locking. The system's reverting control to us. Ariana slows her stride. Confirm audit activation. Audit confirmed. Every document, every transaction, every incident report from the last 5 years backed up under Cole Holdings. Good, Ariana says softly. Let the truth live where it can't be erased. Across the concourse, Mia watches in disbelief as every display flashes white, then resets to a single line of text: Cole Air Holdings audit in progress. Passengers cheer. Even some staff clap quietly, relief disguised as rebellion. Graham Yates storms toward Ariana, red-faced and shaking. You can't just seize our system, that's illegal. She turns slowly, meeting his fury with absolute stillness. You locked out my name. Now the system locks out yours. He reaches for his phone, voice trembling. We'll sue for what? Ariana interrupts. For being caught? The pause is lethal. Reporters lean closer. Behind them, a Sky Nova manager rushes in. Sir, our stock just froze. Cole Holdings withdrew all funds. Graham's face collapses. The world that once revolved around his authority now orbits someone else's calm. Ariana glances toward Mia, who's filming from the side. Keep recording, she says softly. The story belongs to witnesses now. Mia nods, tears streaking down her face. Yes, ma'am. Rachel's voice filters through again. Global media requests your comment on the deal termination. Ariana looks at the cameras directly for the first time since the chaos began. This isn't about a deal, she says. It's about the price of prejudice. You can't buy integrity. You can only lose it. Silence ripples outward, dense and reverent. Even the security guards drop their eyes. Then, as if on cue, every monitor in the terminal changes. Once more, footage of Ariana's removal plays side by side with the live press feed. 2 timelines, 1 truth. The caption reads, When power forgot its reflection. Ariana adjusts her cuff, yellow sleeve gleaming under the terminal lights. Rachel, she says quietly, archive everything, public access. All channels everywhere. The hum of uploading fills the air. Voiceover rises steady like judgment made digital. They built a system to silence her. She turned it into a mirror. And when they finally looked in, they saw who really needed to be escorted out. The crowd begins to applaud again, slow then thunderous. For the first time, Ariana smiles, not for victory but for closure. The applause doesn't fade. It expands, rippling through the terminal like wind through glass. Ariana stands at the center of it, still and composed, the yellow suit catching every flash of camera light. Her silence speaks louder than every headline forming in real time. Across the hall, Sky Nova's upper management cluster like stranded travelers. Graham Yates is pale, phone pressed to his ear, murmuring to a board that no longer believes him. His voice breaks. We can fix this. Ariana turns, slightly catching the reflection of his collapse in the glass. You can't fix what you refuse to see. Mia approaches from the edge of the crowd. Her trainee badge hangs askew, her eyes still wet but burning with conviction. Miss Cole, yes, I sent the video to your assistant, the one they told me to delete. Ariana nods, calm. Then you just became part of history, Mia. The young woman exhales, half fear, half relief. What happens now? Ariana's gaze shifts toward the Sky Nova logo flickering on the wall. Now they learn the sky doesn't belong to them. Cut to Rachel's office, 10 stories above Manhattan. Her monitors glow blue with feeds from news outlets, financial dashboards, and social media trends. Cole Holdings stock climbs as Sky Nova's graph collapses. Global sentiment index at 93% positive, an analyst says. Rachel smiles faintly, and that's what integrity trades at. Back at the terminal, a reporter edges closer. Miss Cole, what message do you want to send to the public? Ariana's voice carries across the marble hall, warm but razor sharp. That every company has a culture, visible or not. And when that culture humiliates the people it profits from, it's already bankrupt. Her words echo. Phones rise higher. Even passengers who came for other flights stop and listen. In one corner, a child tugs at her mother's sleeve. "Mom, why's everyone clapping?" The mother kneels, whispering, "Because that lady just reminded them who's really in charge." Graham slumps against a column, whispering into his phone. "We'll issue a counter-statement. Spin it as a misunderstanding." But the terminal's TVs betray him each, now playing Ariana's calm face, her voice crystal clear. "When you remove someone for how they look, you remove your right to represent anyone at all." Rachel's voice returns through the earpiece. "All networks synced. Public record archived. Would you like to proceed to closure?" Ariana looks out through the glass where the Skynova jet still gleams under the afternoon light. "Yes. Let's end it where it began, on that plane." She starts walking. The crowd parts instinctively, a corridor of respect forming around her. Cameras follow footsteps, echoing like history stamping its own approval. Voiceover deepens cinematic reverent. They dragged her off their plane to remind her of her place. Now she walks back to remind them who owns the sky. As Ariana reaches the boarding gate, the applause fades into a single steady heartbeat, the sound of control returning to the rightful hands. The jet bridge hums with the sound of cameras and disbelief. Ariana walks its length alone. No guards, no entourage, just the echo of her heels and the soft swish of her yellow suit brushing metal walls. Every step erases the humiliation they tried to script. At the cabin door, the same two security officers who once pulled her out now stand waiting, their posture rigid, faces drawn tight with shame. One stammers, "Miss Cole, we didn't know." Ariana raises a hand gently. "That's the point. You didn't want to." They lower their eyes. Inside, the air is thick with tension. Passengers are still there, the same faces that watched her drag down this aisle. Now every phone lowers, every whisper stops. She doesn't have to demand silence. Her presence delivers it. Mia stands near the galley, still, in her wrinkled uniform, eyes shining. "Welcome back, Miss Cole." Ariana nods once, her tone soft but resolute. "Thank you, Mia. You kept the truth alive." Across the aisle, Nicole, the senior flight attendant, freezes. Her lipstick has faded, her confidence vanished. "Miss Cole," Ariana interrupts, voice measured like a closing argument. "Don't call me ma'am out of guilt. Call every black passenger you ignored today, sir and ma'am. That's where you start." Nicole's lip trembles. She nods, the weight of apology catching in her throat. Ariana continues down the aisle until she reaches seat 3 Amperes, the same seat they claim she didn't belong in. She pauses. The leather still bears the slight crease from where she'd been pulled away. She smooths it gently, then sits. The entire cabin exhales, a sound halfway between relief and revelation. Over the intercom, the captain's voice cracks slightly. "Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ariana Cole has reboarded. We owe her and every one of you an apology." The cabin stays silent, but the gesture matters. Small, late, still something. Ariana leans forward, pressing the call button. The light above her seat glows amber. Mia approaches, uncertain. Ariana smiles faintly. "I believe this seat comes with a drink service." The cabin ripples with quiet laughter, tension loosening its grip. Mia nods, whispering right away. Then Ariana turns slightly toward the passengers, speaking not to them, but to history itself. "Some of you filmed what happened. Keep those videos. Don't delete the truth to make people comfortable." Her voice is calm, unbroken, resonant in the small space. "They thought I was a problem to remove. I was just proof of one they created." Rachel's voice filters through her earpiece again. "Board approval finalized. Sky Nova's management suspended, pending investigation." "Good," Ariana answers. "Initiate new hiring policies. Diversity first. Respect required." "Understood." The intercom beeps again, the captain's tone humbled now. "Miss Cole, would you like us to prepare for takeoff?" Ariana looks out the window. The horizon glows gold, reflecting her jacket. "Not yet," she says softly. "There's one more departure left." She stands, gestures toward Nicole, Graham, and 2 senior officers standing at the door. "You removed the wrong passenger today. Now it's your turn to disembark." Security steps forward silently, this time on her orders. Gasps ripple through the cabin as they walk down the same aisle she once did, heads bowed. The door closes behind them with a hydraulic hiss that sounds almost like justice. Ariana sits back down, fastens her seatbelt, and exhales. "Now," she says to the captain, "let's fly." Voiceover rises steady, almost reverent. 9 minutes ago, they dragged her off a plane she paid for. Now the same plane lifts on her command, because power doesn't scream, it ascends. As engines roar to life, the yellow of her suit burns against the window's glow, a color the world won't forget. Engines hum, low-rolling thunder of redemption. The aircraft begins to taxi, sunlight scattering across its polished wings. Inside, no one speaks. They simply watch Ariana Cole, framed by the window's gold light, the woman who turned humiliation into precedent. She gazes out toward the horizon. The clouds blur, but her thoughts are razor-sharp. This isn't just about her. It never was. It's about the next black woman who boards a plane in silence and is treated like she doesn't belong. About the next young trainee who hesitates but still speaks truth into a hostile room. The captain's voice breaks the stillness, reverent, subdued. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Sky Nova Air and Cole Holdings, we'd like to thank you for your patience. He pauses. And for witnessing a new beginning. Ariana leans her head slightly, listening. Then she presses the intercom beside her seat. This is Ariana Cole. Her voice echoes through the cabin, calm and steady. Before we take off, I need to say something not as a CEO, but as a passenger. Every head turns. You watched something wrong unfold today. And you watched what happens when silence ends. The lesson isn't mine alone, it's ours. If dignity needs permission, then we've built the wrong kind of sky. A woman in the back row starts to clap. Slowly, others join. Within seconds, the sound swells until the entire cabin vibrates with applause. Mia wipes her eyes, shoulders shaking. Even the captain joins in through the overhead mic, a soft, trembling clap, clap, clap. Ariana's gaze shifts to Mia. You were brave, she says softly. You'll be hearing from my office tomorrow. Mia nods, overwhelmed, whispering, Thank you, miss. Cole. Outside, airport personnel stand along the tarmac, some recording, some saluting. Rachel's voice crackles through Ariana's earpiece. The world's calling this the yellow suit incident. You've inspired over 60 million people in 12 hours. Hashtag number Fly with Respect is trending globally. Ariana exhales, quiet but resolute. Good, then it's not an incident. It's a reminder. She unbuckles her seatbelt and stands once more. The cabin hushes again. I don't want anyone to remember this as revenge. Remember it as correction. She lets the words hang, then finishes. The sky belongs to everyone. So next time you see someone told they don't belong, don't look away. Outside, the jet engines roar to full power. The aircraft surges forward, wheels lifting from the ground. Passengers cheer, some crying openly. The yellow of Ariana's suit catches the morning light, blazing like a banner of promise. Cut to the control tower controllers watching the plane ascend. One murmurs, That's the most expensive takeoff in aviation history. Another answers softly, and the most deserved. Back inside, Ariana closes her laptop. The reflection of the clouds crosses her face as she smiles, not with triumph, but with peace. Rachel, she says, through the mic, mark this flight as complete. Audit closed. Justice delivered. Rachel's voice warms on the line. Already done, Ariana. Welcome back to your sky. The plane breaks through a layer of cloud. For a moment, everything is pure white light. The camera lingers on Ariana's profile, serene, unshaken. Voiceover fades in, quiet but final. They dragged her off a plane she paid for. Minutes later, she owned the narrative, rewrote the rules, and reminded the world power doesn't shout. It rises, fade to black. Then one final title glows on screen, The Sky Belongs to Everyone.